I'm not usually the type of guy to make these huge call-out things. I usually just make comment readings and in-jokes with my friends. And I don't really want it to be this big budget, super serious thing. But this video pissed me off so much, I just have to make a video on it. So the basic rundown is that this guy known as Zome made a video called How Lesbians Ruin the Genshin Impact Community. And this video obviously ruffled some feathers, because how can you make a video with a thumbnail/title that intentionally provocative and not expect some backlash? Also, I'm not going to explain what Genshin Impact is, go read the Wikipedia page. Then, a YouTuber of a similar sub-count by the name of Joukhrs, I don't really know, correct me in the comments, made their response, which led to them being harassed by Zome's stans. After that, Zome made a response advertised as the funniest video he's ever made. And I'm going to keep it real, Chief. This is the worst fucking response video I've ever seen. Like, holy shit, dude. And I'm going to take my time to go through why. Even though I'm going to do a little bit of clowning and joking around here, I mainly want this video to serve as an analysis to debunk certain takes from both parts, calling out bias, uninformed takes, and borderline harmful takes. I also went out of my way to watch Joker's original video and videos that they linked in the order to gain some more understanding of their points, due to some cutting/speeding being involved in to cut down Zome's video for time. I'm also going to talk about Joker's response and Zome's part 2 at the same time, due to the part 1 video being easier to talk about separately. I don't want to make the video too segmented and confusing. Before we dive right into it, I do not condone the harassment of neither Joukhr or Zome, or any bigoted language. Do not do it. If you do it, I can't really control you watching my videos or not, so yucky you. Second off, I have a bit of a stutter problem. I be on that porky pig shit sometimes, so just keep that in mind and don't let that subtract from what I want to say. Now on with the show!
Ever since I started playing Genshin, there's always been this one thing I could never understand. Why is it that whenever there's a new character, people immediately start assuming that this character is either gay or lesbian, and why do they go ahead and start shipping these random-ass characters just because they're the same gender?
Oh, why do Genshin players ship characters of the same gender? Oh no! Shipping and gay shipping is like a huge thing that has existed for decades before Genshin. It's been a popularized phenomenon since the 60s with Spock/Kirk of Star Trek fame. This specific ship popularized a lot of aspects of shipping you see today. And it's just like that. If they both form a fort, then there's a chance someone ships them. No matter if it makes sense or not, or if it's morally okay or not. One reason a lot of people ship is that gay pairings aren't often represented in media due to a lot of bigotry in the world. So on the internet, where people have the freedom to express themselves and the rise of fandom spaces, a lot of the fanships are gonna be gay. If you're interested in learning more about shipping, the YouTubers E and Cole Does Things, who are experienced in the shipping/LGBTQ community, explain a lot about why people ship, why people like certain dynamics, and how a ship can actually make more sense than it does on the surface. Even if you don't agree with them, it's good to get context and different perspectives from people. Back to what I was saying a bit earlier, not a Genshin exclusive thing at all. Shipping is prevalent throughout so many fandoms that you could apply this to basically anything. Same with toxic shipping communities. Examples being the MHA fandom, the Cookie Run fandom, which is basically the Genshin fandom shipping on crack, and the fucking Voltron fandom. Not a Genshin exclusive thing at all, and since it's not, the whole toxic shipper lesbian image can be applied to most fandoms.
So by saying that these Genshin lesbians are a threat is unintentionally, or intentionally, but I'll give Bro the benefit of the doubt, affecting more people in negative ways than he realizes.
Also, a thing I want to bring up is that some gay shippers ain't even gay. Some people are just into dynamics and pairings that don't line up with their own sexuality. And of course, there are the people who fetishize gay ships, which is a whole other ballpark.
You guys start calling me homophobic or whatever. Look, I do not have anything against gay people or lesbian people or whatever. I don't care. Do whatever you want, bro. Like, we're all gooners anyway.
Okay, so, fun fact, little surprise piece of knowledge. Did you know that you can say homophobic shit without being homophobic? Oh my god! Oh my god, who said that? Jokes aside, I feel like this is just being said as a way to deflect criticism from any future takes that could be perceived as homophobic. As Joker puts it,
nothing against gay people, but I'm gonna say shit that's really fucking homophobic.
Instead of taking time to explain that why the takes they make aren't homophobic, they are just gonna go, see, I said I wasn't homophobic at the start, so that means I'm not homophobic no matter what I say. Which is not a good way to manage criticism at all.
But I do have a problem with that when it starts to turn into hatred towards straight players, and especially straight guys playing the game, which is exactly what is happening in the Genshin community and HSR community right now. Especially on TikTok, which is arguably the biggest platform currently, hate towards straight Genshin or HSR players, and especially straight guys, is becoming more and more normalized.
Yeah, I agree. TikTok is a horrible fucking place to be a Genshin fan. I remember this one particularly unpleasant interaction I had with the Kave stan, But TikTok also has multiple examples of toxic straight shippers doing things like calling queer people mentally ill for being queer, shoving headcanons about characters' sexuality to be straight, which is the same thing you criticize the gay Genshin players for. So no, TikTok is not just a hub for queer shippers to hate on straight men. Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, and especially Twitter are also places where hatred towards queer shippers are popular. Also, not to mention multiple incidents like the Tectone Robin tweet brigade, which I actually talk about more in depth a little farther down the line. And also the time somebody made a fanfiction under the lesbian ship tag where Ito rapes the lesbian out of Sarah to fuck with and disturb lesbians for no reason other than to be an arsehole. And holy fucking shit! Just as I was finalizing the speedpaint for this video, Joukhrs English VA received fucking death threats for posting a meme gif with Joukhrs and the lesbian flag, and a large portion of the responses consisted of victim blaming. Like, want an example of toxic straight players? There you fucking go.
Now, some of you may ask, but Zone, what does any of this have to do with the shipping community? Well, here's the thing. All of this hate against straight people in the gacha space kind of started because of these shippers. To be more specific, I mean these kind of shippers.
What's the problem with this video in particular? It seems like a normal ship video to me. The person in this video is being respectful, so I don't really understand why Zome is using this as an example. He does make it clear that there really isn't anything morally wrong with shipping in the next part, though, so...
Technically, these kind of ships and videos are not really an issue in itself since no one really gets harmed or anything. Except for my brain cells, every time I see one of these fucking shippers, I legitimately can feel each one of my brain cells getting damaged one by one whenever I read one of these comments. But all jokes aside,
I just feel he's being a dick here for no real reason, and it doesn't add to the video at all. And makes his previous claim about there being nothing wrong with queer shipping seem very disingenuous. If your joke derails your point and makes it about making fun of someone rather than just a light jab then getting right back to it, then it's probably just left to the cutting room floor. I've had to learn this myself when drafting videos.
the problem with these shippers and their community is that they kind of normalize it to either be gay or lesbian, and if you're straight or you're not gay, apparently that automatically makes you homophobic.
This is just not true. I get there are some double standards when it comes to being horny over certain gacha game characters, which yet again, I'll get to. But it's not mandatory to be gay in the Genshin community. Don't sweat your socks off over it.
I'm not even joking. If you were to go into one of these comment sections and commented something like, yeah, Miko and Ayada would make a great couple, dude, they would unironically go ahead and start sending you death threats.
Oh! That's why he thinks that most of the community hates straight ships. Nah, he just lacks awareness. Okay, let's analyze the situation here. As we can see by this comment, and the heads of the characters above, this is an Miko video, which is a video about a lesbian ship made for fans of that ship. Zome is commenting about Yayato, which is a straight ship. Now, would it be silly to think that saying, I like this straight ship involving one of the characters in this video, under a video about a lesbian ship, could be perceived as insensitive? Yeah, dude, people have a right to get mad at that. Of course, death threats aren't okay, don't get me twisted, but just having a little bit of awareness could eliminate this issue substantially. Of course, there are some people who attack straight shippers unprovoked, but those people are just insane and don't represent the wider community.
We all know who Doro44 is, and some of you might remember the drama surrounding him because of the Arlecchino clip. For those who don't know what happened, there was a clip of him a few months ago where his chat told him to try a glitch that would allow you to look under a character without making that character go invisible. So, bro went ahead, he tried this glitch with Arlecchino, and he ended up looking at Arlecchino's ass for like 2 seconds, and that's pretty much it. Not really a big deal. But guess what? Somehow, people started complaining about this, and everyone started sending him genuine death threats in the comments and saying that he needs therapy and all that.
What happened to Doro was absolutely fucked, and everyone who participated in this harassment should be ashamed of themselves. He didn't even just look at Arlecchino's ass, he looked at multiple booties, including Ito's ass. So he's not being sexist or anything, he's just having fun.
About. In the Genshin and HSR community, it's only considered weird or disgusting if a male person thinks a female character looks hot. But the moment it is a woman or a gay person who's down bad for a character, suddenly everyone thinks it's so relatable and everyone agrees. I'm going to show you guys some proof of what exactly I'm talking about. These are comments from females, and a lot of those are shippers that make these lesbian ships. These are comments from females on a video of a new male character in HSR, and as you guys can see, these comments have a lot of likes and everyone seems to be agreeing. Now for comparison, this is a comment of a male person who commented milk under a video of Aressa, and the only response to this comment was this.
Okay, I will say that I kind of agree with this take, which as you'll see later on, is kind of rare. I think that arguing and attacking each other over thirsting over fictional gacha game characters is fucking stupid. Unless I look like they're a kid, then nah, you're a weirdo. However, I do want to bring up that sometimes dudes' sexual comments about women can be really demeaning. So I think that all genders should be able to goon to any adult character they want. Just make sure you aren't being too creepy with it and keep the current political climate in mind. The path of the ethical gooner is the righteous one, friends.
But going back to these shippers that I mentioned at the start, Guys, I'm not saying that shipping characters is like the worst thing ever, and if that's what you want to do in your free time, then feel free to do that. We all have different things that we enjoy when it comes to gacha games. But please stop forcing your gay ships onto everyone else just because you think that these ships are somehow canon. Cause now, whenever I play Navia or Arlecchino, I constantly get reminded of these cringe ships.
I see the argument of people forcing gay ships onto people all the time. I'm just gonna say that most of the time it's complete bullshit. If you don't like a ship, cool, then don't interact with it since it's just a fictional pairing of two characters. And if someone's being an asshole, just block them. They'll eventually learn and mature if people just learn to ignore that BS and handle it well. Now, my thoughts on his part 1 video are, it has some pretty fucking stupid takes in my opinion, but at the same time holds some value in the discussion of double standards. I think that it's fine to call out the toxic behavior of the shipping community. Just the way it was done, and the way a minority was blamed for all this despite it not really being their fault, leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and that's why I feel that it wasn't really the widest idea to make a video on something you are clearly biased against and don't bother doing the proper research into. Now, the part 2 is where the mask starts to slip off and the takes start to get a lot more biased, disorganized, and a lot of aggression and misconstruction. I wasn't going to make a video of this whole thing until I saw his part 2, and was so shocked and flabbergasted by how anyone could take this seriously. So without further ado, let's see how Zome takes Joukhrs' reaction in his video.
Alright guys, so it seems like some goofball who for some reason thinks I'm homophobic reacted to my video about lesbian Genshin players where I explain why their behavior is a problem, and he's trying to justify their behavior towards straight people with some pretty ridiculous takes. And since I wanted to make a part 2 anyway, I thought why not react to it and use this as an opportunity to prove my points even further.
He starts by going, I'm gonna react to this video just to prove my point, which already tells me all I need to know. I could turn off the video now, but still quite a bit to talk about.
I'm probably gonna get cancelled for making...
I'm probably gonna get canceled for making this video. Okay. Tell me you're an incel without telling me you're a fucking incel.
Bro, what did I do? The video has not even started.
The video has in fact started. You can buy it by the playback bar. It has red on it, and there's a number. He's within legal right to clown on your ass. And I'm going to as well, because holy cornball! I just ignored this when covering part 1, but since Joukhr drew attention to it, this sounds like something a washed-up Gen X comedian would open his set with on his Netflix special. But I do agree, I wouldn't say he's an incel, it just feels like Joukhr's tossing out random buzzwords there.
People immediately start assuming that this character is either gay or lesbian, and why do they go ahead and start shipping these random-ass characters just because they're the same gender?
Why do they instantly ship them with someone of the same gender as if straight people don't do that exact same thing? That character could be the fucking gayest character to exist. They could straight up say,
For a second I thought that he would actually have an argument, but then he just goes ahead and talks about straight people from a completely different fandom that has nothing to do with the Genshin community.
Okay, and? It's an example! It doesn't have to be from Genshin, and it helps provide context because context matters. Cause and effect and all that jazz. I hate the keeping arguments strictly related to Genshin argument because he does this multiple times and I'm just not going to take it seriously, at all. Reason being that, number 1, as explained previously, no matter how much he tries to draw attention back to Genshin, the issue he's tackling just isn't about Genshin. It's about the shipping community as a whole. And he either couldn't be bothered to do research or knows this, and is hiding it. Sliding smoothly into number 2, he's doing this to artificially reduce the amount of things that can be used against him in this argument, which creates an unfair playing field and stops him from being stumped by anything outside his knowledge range.
Alright, just quickly recording something I forgot to mention. So, he spends all this time complaining about how everyone's going off topic and it's strictly to the Genshin community, but in this clip I've shown before, in a video that, mind you, is called How Lesbians Ruin the Community, he's talking about straight women. If you're gonna use bullshit logic, at least be consistent with it, my guy.
a good example of this is Ruin May and Dr. Ratio. They have never interacted. They would hate one another, but people decided to ship them because they came out one after the other, and that happens constantly with male and female characters. But no, we're shipping, just shipping, these characters is so...
I don't get what he's trying to say here. So there's people who ship Ruin May and Dr. Ratio, okay? And what exactly is the problem with that? Because I'm pretty sure that they do not go around and send death threats to anyone who disagrees with their ship.
Jarvis, pull out the Goomba fallacy image. Not every gay shipper harasses people. The crazies do not represent the queer community as a whole, bro. As I've said before.
Whatever.
Now, before you guys start calling me homophobic or whatever, look, I do not have anything against gay people.
Tell me you're homophobic without telling me you're homophobic. I have nothing against gay people.
Bro, what? I literally said that I have nothing against gay people.
I do not have anything against gay people.
And somehow that makes me homophobic. Dude, what kind of logic is that?
Nothing against gay people, but I'm gonna say shit that's really fucking homophobic.
This doesn't really prove anything and is just saying no instead of coming up with a proper argument. In fact, bro does this a lot in ways I believe are notable, in ways that are worth mentioning later.
Alright, first of all, please name one thing that I said that was homophobic.
Don't you worry, he's gonna say some homophobic shit soon. Watch till the end.
It really seems like this guy cannot comprehend the difference between criticizing someone's behavior and criticizing someone's sexuality. He thinks that just because I'm criticizing the behavior of lesbian and gay Genshin players, that also means I'm criticizing their sexuality, which I never did.
The problem isn't him criticizing them, it's him pinning it all on gay people. Also, the whole point of it's not homophobic if I don't criticize the sexuality in Pacific is pretty dumb. It's like saying, yeah, I called a black person a fried chicken eater, but I didn't say anything about their skin color.
Because why is he acting like straight men are oppressed? Because girls want to ship girls with other girls and not with men. Straight men have never been and will never be oppressed. But this guy's gonna make it sound like they are.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's a good reason for that.
Considering the examples I've shown earlier, the whole straight men are oppressing the Genshin community thing is kinda bullshit. Sure, there's notable mistreatment, and that sucks, but there are still tons of community straight Genshin players can go to.
That straight Genshin and HSR players are oppressed even if they are not in the minority. Let me show you some proof. A real Yuri fan always speaks ill of men. 850k views and 34k likes.
Dude, that is the tamest fucking shit ever. If this really offends you, then you gotta learn to take a joke. This internet is a wild west. You can't be caught lacking out there, partner. And why the focus on the amount of views? Views don't mean shit most of the time, especially on Twitter.
A Genshin subreddit specifically made for everyone except straight people.
The queen subreddits are like a whole different bag of worms. Like, those guys are a different breed. And even so, why is it bad that queer people have their own space? Especially since that subreddit only has 4,000 members, compared to the main subreddit, which can be quite big at times. And not to mention Genshin Romance, a Genshin subreddit for straight shipping, with more members than queens. If Yaoi and Yuri subreddits can be a thing and people really can't get along, I guess straight ships should have their own space too, and it's all fair. But the fact that it's named Genshin Romance, implying that straight ships are more romantic than gay ships somehow, it's not a good look.
A tweet with 1.9 million views where an artist got forced into only making lesbian drawings because her lesbian community started sending her stuff like this after she attempted to make a drawing of a straight ship. I have much more that I can show, but I don't want to make this video too long, so for now let's just continue.
Okay, this sucks for the art, especially since it's Chandai, my goat. But first off, you're just showing us the views again. And I doubt most people who saw the tweet were like, hell yeah! And a lot of these screenshots are from a relatively small accounts. Cherry picking much?
And what the fuck is a straight cis man? I know what a straight man is, but what on God's green earth is a cis man? I have never heard of that.
Like, I don't understand how not knowing something you can just spend a minute Googling as a flex. Like, bro, no.
I legitimately can feel each one of my brain cells getting damaged one by one whenever I read one of these comments. But
Let's take a second. Mister, I'm not homophobic. Why specifically is it the queer ships that make you lose brain cells?
take a guess. Maybe it's because the people who make them are the most toxic people in the entire gacha space, and maybe it's because they normalize hate towards men, and maybe it's because they send death threats to everyone. Maybe it's because of that. Take a guess. I don't know.
Dude thinks that just because some gay people are toxic shippers means that every gay ship is made by a toxic shipper and that every gay shipper is toxic. What the fuck? I brought up the Goomba fallacy last time, but this is a perfect example of this shit. Dude generalized an entire group of people that spans farther outside the Genshin community, as stated before, which is how bigotry spreads, could hurt a lot of people, not just in the Genshin community. In fact, the same thing can be applied to how people were saying everyone in the Genshin community are kitty diddlers. OG Genshin fans, how did it feel to be labeled as a fucking pedophile? Despite presumably having not done anything wrong. I say presumably because there are some weirdos like that, but I trust y'all. Yeah, it hurts. Imagine how all the innocent queer Genshin players feel. Not a nice feeling.
Also, why does his thoughts on the shippers have to dictate his thoughts on the ship? So I ask again, what's wrong with this edit? And what makes him lose brain cells?
He just keeps proving me right. I have never said anything homophobic or did anything to him, yet he keeps calling me that just because he's mad at me. Once again, proving the fact that most, not everyone, most lesbians and gay Genshin players are toxic towards anyone who simply disagrees with them.
Most lesbians. Most. That's just making things so much worse for himself, and can't handle other people's opinions. That's just most people online nowadays.
Those were jokes? I think the biggest joke is how he's talking, and not like how his voice sounds or anything like that. I mean, the words that are coming out of his mouth are the joke, rather than what he actually thinks are jokes.
So you don't like my jokes? Is that why you think I'm homophobic?
Oh my fucking god, dude. I don't even have to say anything. How can you misunderstand something that badly without intentionally misconstruing it?
Joking?
No one's calling straight people homophobic for being straight.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Then why the fuck are you calling me homophobic, even though I'm clearly not?
Basically, like, no matter what queer people do in the Genshin fandom, we're still a minority.
Once again, I don't get what you're trying to prove here. Are you saying that just because you're in the minority, that means it's perfectly fine to harass everyone and be toxic towards everyone else who's not part of your minority? That shit.
Listen, I know this meme is kind of overused, but it fits so well. This shit is literally the pancake and waffle tweet.
You're not oppressed. Take a step outside, touch some fucking grass.
I don't think you are in the position to say that.
Not even halfway through, and he's making fun of Joukhrs weight. It's not funny, it's just mean and irrelevant to the conversation. It just kind of hints at him running out of arguments.
I could say a lot more, but I'm really trying to be nice here, because I'm genuinely starting to feel bad for him. So please, to everyone who's watching this, do not send death threats or anything to him, because if we do that, we're not any better than the toxic lesbians.
Too little too late, my guy, and ooh, toxic lesbians, I can feel the mask slipping off from thousands of kilometers away.
So just please try to be nice.
Try to be nice, oh fuck off!
Where straight guys are being forced into acting gay, because if they don't...
Bro, what straight guy is out here acting? My bad. Straight Genshin fans are now sucking dick because they think they have to be gay now. Maybe this guy should stop talking and put a cock in his mouth.
Oh my fucking god, guys, what a horrible thing to say to someone. Dick in your mouth, that's just insulting! Yeah, put one up your ass while you're at it.
He will probably get kidnapped and crucified by lesbian Yamiko mains. And since I know that some of you might not believe...
And also, this is perpetuating a stereotype about lesbians, that mean lesbian thing. The fact that this is centering around lesbians rather than queer shippers. I know, actually, it is kind of around queer shippers as a whole. It perpetuates a stereotype that lesbians are mean. There's this trope like the mean lesbian. Because...
Toxic Yamiko mains and not lesbians as a whole, because lesbian Yamiko mains are a perfect example for toxic lesbians in the Genshin community. Yeah, sure, maybe there is a stereotype that lesbians are mean or whatever, but that has nothing to do with me making that joke. The stereotype exists because it is a cause of their own action.
Wait, what the fuck do you mean by that?
And it will continue to exist, not because of me making a joke about it, but because most of the lesbian Genshin players keep behaving in a way that results in a certain stereotype.
Yeah, so that's kind of a fucked thing to say. I feel I shouldn't have to explain why saying that they create the stereotypes themselves is stupid and bigoted. Also, just using the Genshin player thing, he knows what he means.
lesbians have to be a little bit harsh to men in rejecting them because men do not fucking stop.
Back at it again with the stupid reaction images in place of arguments. Does he have anything to say? Warning, as I'm about to get a little bit socio-political. Oh no, the real world! I do agree with what Joukhrs is saying here. Obviously not all men, but a notable amount to create a problem, have been harmful towards women when it comes to being rejected, so when a lesbian has to reject a man, she's got to be a little bit more aggressive with it in order to not be seen as an easy target for a hate crime. It's a sad fact of this reality, and one that we gotta learn in order to make the world safer for our fellow human beings.
Once again, he is trying to justify lesbians being toxic.
It's not a justification, it's an explanation. Context matters.
But now it's apparently because men don't stop and because they feel entitled to most Star Rail women?
This shit is actually so fucking dumb. Star Rail women. Jesus, I thought we already reached the peak of misconstruction.
If anything, it's the opposite, as I show in the video later on. So I don't know what he's talking about, and he also doesn't show any proof, so let's just move on.
Woman rejects them, they see it as some awful thing, some rude and awful thing, whereas a girl, the lesbian, is probably just being firm and saying she's not interested.
It also ties in with the trope, the man-hating lesbian or whatever. It's the same thing, it's because men feel entitled to women, and when a woman rejects them or isn't interested in them, they take it as some sort of insult when it's not.
If all he's gonna do is be rude and disrespectful for humor, then what's even the point, man?
I can't believe he's saying that straight men are trying to act gay.
Oh, rock Aussie, show me how you got that ass. Just wanting. Thank God there's an eye tracker, because I'm looking like this.
He's just having a little clown here, a little bit of fun. It's not gay to be curious about another dude's glute routine. You motherfuckers would not survive the day in the TF2 community trenches. Don't tell me that y'all are that insecure about your own sexuality to the point that you can't make jokes about dude butt.
What I was able to see, I mean, people were telling me to bite the curb, go die, I hope you off yourself, just things like that.
Since Doro himself is saying that he saw those things, I will say that yes, there are probably some like fucking 14-year-olds in his comments telling him these things because they don't understand the impact that those words could have. This person even...
You know very well that that was a meme, and those are not only 14-year-olds hating on him, but also full-grown adults. And then he goes ahead and tries to use the meme against me because he can't come up with his own argument, like he's trying to justify death threats because of the fact that a lot of the people sending them might be like 14 years old.
Yet again, he justifies nothing. He's pointing out that a decent portion of people engaged in this toxic behavior are young teens and are most likely indoctrinated into this kind of stuff and see a lot of things that shouldn't be normalized as normalized. It's a sad fact of the world right now, and it's the fault of the culture and system surrounding social media. Of course, these toxic youths shouldn't be let off completely off the hook because of that, but rather there should be more effort put into educating teens before they enter the internet. And also making use of the good old block button, so eventually they will learn not to do that shit and learning appropriate internet behaviors.
That are what causes people to do this. And yet the video is centered around lesbians. And no matter who it is, straight person, lesbian, gay person, whatever, if you send hate like this, that is wrong. But the fact that this person is centering the video around lesbians, even though it's not specifically a lesbian thing, that's what's homophobic, and I'll bring it up later.
This whole thing from Joukhrs is a good summation of what's wrong with the Zomes Part 1 video, and is a pretty hard to dispute. Let's see how he responds to this take. I am sure it's going to be receptive and not bigoted at all in the slightest.
No matter what clip you pull out, I'm not homophobic. And yes, it is the fault of toxic lesbians and gays because they don't blame the 14-year-olds for acting in an absolutely disrespectful way. Which, by the way, is exactly what you're doing right now. It doesn't matter if they're 14 or not. They should be blamed and they should be called out for their disrespectful behavior
so that they can learn from their mistakes. If they don't get blamed for all this shitty behavior, they will not learn from their mistakes. If they don't get blamed for all this shitty behavior, they will not learn from their mistakes, and they will become more and more toxic over time since people like you are using their age to justify their terrible actions.
This is just really upsetting. First off, just the insistence to keep blaming a whole group of people for a loud minority is so ignorant and shows inability to change. Okay. Second off, the way he phrased this is just so ugh. There's something about the way he says it that makes me uncomfortable. There's just a reason. I can't put my finger on it. Third off, I've shown there are genuinely, horrifically, outwardly homophobic people in this community, and you just told the viewers to make them learn from their mistakes, and put a weird amount of urgency on it, so it almost seems like a call to action. How do you think certain fans are going to make them learn from their mistakes, Zome? They could use this point he just made, along with all the other dumb takes he's made, and use it as a justification for genuine bigotry and witch-hunting gay people out of the Genshin community. Getting thousands harassed and having nobody learn anything. Not to mention other communities who desire a straight, right-leaning echo chamber environment could do the same thing. It's the worst take in this entire video and the reason I wanted to make this response. I genuinely don't think this video will help change Zome's mind in the slightest, but I hope it can help some people think more critically and recognize the terrible shit he says. Just
No matter how much 14-year-olds on the internet hate men or decide they want to make a trend about hating men, it's not going to change the overarching misogyny in society that is getting worse.
Bro, can you please stop talking about society as a whole? My video and the issues I'm talking about are centered around the gacha space and especially the Genshin community. And
as stated before, I don't give a flying fuck.
Women get so much shit for saying they hate men, but then men can say they hate women, and that's normalized.
Another fucking meme that proves nothing. You're breaking my balls here. Well, anyways, to insinuate that there are no popular trends mocking women is very ignorant.
This just shows a lot of immaturity. Taking time to come up with your next argument doesn't mean you're running out. Running out of arguments is using dumbass memes, making fun of people's appearance, and stupid unresearched statements.
Comment of a male person who commented milk under a video of Theresa, and the only response to this comment was this. And the sad part about
they said keys. What's wrong with keys?
You know exactly what that means, bro.
Okay, sorry. Joukhrs knows what they mean by keys. I'm gonna call out Zome for feigning ignorance, and I'm gonna do the same with him.
And also, I find it very interesting how in the comments that he's saying are okay that the women are doing, he uses like 6 or 7 comments. This one, we're only seeing 1 comment.
Okay, here's a bunch of other comments. Feel free to take your time to look through each and every one of them.
5 songs! The same 5 songs! The radio station, they play the same 5 songs!
He's shown these screenshots like 3 to 5 times already, acting like they're new information. And most of these are from low engagement accounts, and cherry-picked anyways, so...
Cardigan, but this man is saying that men get treated differently than women in the gacha space. But just look at what's the name, Love Deep Space, where they had a period tracker and everyone was calling women doers for having periods. I made a video about this too. It's not just men. Women are not like attacking men. Men are not like some minority that are being discriminated against. Look at how many men were commenting about how women are doers because being had a period tracker in it. In your community are the only types that ruin games and force their headcanon that every character should be a lesbian. Now, weirdos. Everyone here needs a reality check. If being normal is homophobic, I might be one as well. The gays are mouthing hard. Every girl is straight now. Let's ruin everything for them.
Yes, a lot of men did call Love and Deep Space a gooner game when they added a period tracker, and yes, they were toxic, but that's just the result of a lot of toxic women previously calling a lot of gacha games gooner games just because they have jiggle physics and appeal to the male audience more than the female audience. And I'm not gonna try to justify that. It's just the act of revenge. It happens all the time.
Okay, I love how he ignores all the homophobic comments and then brings up the act of revenge. Like, dude, what do I even say to this?
So there's a difference between men saying stuff about women and women saying stuff about men. Because yes, women are saying all those comments that this person used in the video. I don't need to find new ones. They say that kind of stuff. But men say shit like this. Can't wait for the R34 Veronica to buff Alice with her singing, but she can't because she's too busy. I'm so excited to book this very straight woman.
Sure, maybe he is down bad, and maybe he kind of provoked lesbians with that tweet, but he never said anything actually harmful towards them. You just fell for his rage bait and you got offended by that.
What Tectone said here is absolutely disgusting and falls in line with the whole annoying grifter shtick he had before he thankfully retired. He's basically dehumanizing this character for the sole sake of pissing off lesbians. So yes, what he's doing is homophobic and awful. It's pathetic how he's using the whole rage bait thing as an excuse, which is a thing I've seen a lot. Like, it's just satire and it's just rage bait, dude. To shield from criticism after being an absolute arsehat is dumb and childish. Also, if that can be considered rage bait, a few of the examples he's shown before can also be classified as rage bait, except those are less harmful than what Tectone said. What a hypocritical thing to say. Taking a side with a proven horrible transphobe, homophobe, and sex pest, really the hill you want to die on.
I do think being trans is
a mental illness.
it's obvious that it is.
You're a guy that thinks they're a girl.
The same thing with like, I'm a dude and I
Wanna fuck dudes.
it doesn't matter if it's mean, your brains are wired differently than what a
Normal human beings.
is, which is why we call those outliers mental illnesses.
Also, this is not any different from the comments I showed in my video. It's pretty much the exact same concept, with the only difference that he got hate for it while they did not.
And are we expected to see those as like the same thing? Because there's that men's comments on this are more vile.
You know, I don't get this. Does he not realize that the statement can also be used against him, or...
Was made under a lesbian. Prove it! Shit video, or if it was a woman with a lesbian flag piloting this, nobody would dare to say anything. Feel free to prove me wrong, but you won't be able to because I'm 100% correct. Okay.
Wow, who would have guessed? As expected, he cannot prove me wrong.
That's clearly a grunt of annoyance in, like, oh, this guy's just too stuck up and annoying to argue with.
Here's the thing. No one's going to call queer people out, including me, for being damn bad, because instead they're just going to throw slurs at us.
Okay, I'll give him that. Yeah, it does happen sometimes, but everyone is aware of that, and people who do that get called out for it if it does happen.
It does happen sometimes, just downplaying centuries of bigotry. That's cool, that's cool. It's funny how much evidence we keep getting that he just isn't aware of the subject he's discussing.
This person wants to say that they're not homophobic. There's a reason why they're talking about this in regards to lesbianism and not just 14-year-olds making comments like this. The fact that they put this needs to stop in front of the queer flag is kind of an interesting choice.
Dude, that thumbnail was intentionally made to provoke people. Can you stop pretending that doesn't mean anything?
This person has not seen these things. They exist. I've seen them all. Queer people and women are used to being talked down to. We're used to being a minority. And so we are making videos about how we're being called XYZ. Stand-up shit aside. I don't get why we're acting like straight men are oppressed when we literally got rid of Roe versus Wade in the US.
Yeah, cool, but nobody cares about that because my video was clearly centered around the Genshin community and not whatever the fuck is going on in the US.
You know, I constantly get reminded of these cringe ships. Like, what the fuck is art? I love how when he says cringe ships, it's only the gay ships that he's calling cringe.
This is legit some of the most dog shit rage bait I've ever seen. It's just obnoxious.
Bro, they don't even know each other. What? Do you play the game? They're both harbingers. They know one another.
Okay, I will admit my wording was pretty bad there. What I meant to say was that they never had any in-game interactions with each other. So yeah, that was wrong on my part. I definitely could have worded that better.
Oh my god! He actually did it! He actually took some form of feedback! I knew he had it in him! He took one singular form. Both videos are pretty much over now. Zome just responds to some comments from his part 1 talking about how the fact that there are pedos roaming the communities freely are a bit more of an issue. And if he's not interested in making the video, that's fair. I was going to cover some of the weirdo stuff happening in the Zenless community, but I'm taking time to do more research into that before I mess with that behemoth. But to say that everyone knows this is happening and that everyone agrees that lollies suck is stupid. A lot of anime/gacha communities have been rendered to the point where you can't say anything negative about lolicon or you'll be ratioed and dragged into the depths of hell. Now with that, that's the whole video. Yeah, to summarize, it was a poorly researched, heavily biased video made by someone who constantly misconstrues statements to actually mind-numbing degrees, makes arguments that fall apart seconds after thinking about them for too long, and has parts that incentivize hate speech, whether intentional or not. Joukhrs' video was a little rough around the editing, some awkward delivery, but it was leagues better than whatever the fuck this video was. So, while making this, Zome has announced his retirement, and that should be it, right? He's gone. But here's the thing. People are going to create a base soldier who fought against the libs and got silenced for it narrative, which, if you see the comments, it's already happening, despite Zome having clearly claimed that that's not the reason. I've had to rewrite this section quite a few times because he made a final video, and I want to try and be careful because he does mention suicide a few times, and I don't want to go too in-depth because it's not my place to talk about this dude's mental state, and I don't want to accidentally say something insensitive. I may not like the dude or his videos, but attacking someone who has expressed vulnerable emotions is wrong. I hope his future goes well and his life is filled. But Zome, if you ever come back to YouTube, once Capitano finally becomes playable, please just reflect on some of the stuff you said and make an effort to be more understanding towards other people's perspectives. You have very good quality editing and know how to structure a video. Don't let that go to waste because you can't recognize your own bias. You can argue you're not homophobic, but if you aren't willing to accept these biases or do any proper research as to why certain people may disagree with you, then I think it's just silly to blame others for thinking that.
Also, in his final video, he said this.
Community fucking sucks. This community got absolutely ruined by certain types of people that I already made a few videos on, and this problem will only continue to get worse over time because not a single streamer in this community actually has the balls to talk about these problems. And that aside,
Ooh, I'm the only one in this community able to speak up about stuff. I'm the only brave person in this entire community. Respectfully, shut up.
Now, some may be wondering, why even bother? The video released months ago, the dude's retired, nobody cares. This video took a long time. A lot of thinking, fear, balancing with other stuff going on in my life, and whether it was worth it to keep making this, since probably it would just end up with a few views, a lot of dislikes, and 2 people telling me to kill myself. The truth is, this video has had a negative effect on the community. Over the months I've been producing this video, so many incidences in this fandom have popped up, and through the responses, I've seen the bullshit rhetoric from this video repeated. Gay people have been blamed, and what did it do? Nothing. It hasn't helped. In fact, it's made things worse. Blaming gays just makes the straight player base look worse to the queer player base, and that just fuels the vocal minority of toxic LGBT slippers to be even more toxic, which makes straight players feel even more justified in their persecution, which fuels the other side, and you get it. Hatred breeds hatred. This video has made the already difficult discussion on the shipping crisis even worse. The fact that this absolutely garbage video covering Genshin shipping discourse is one of the only ones is just gonna make stupid people think it's valid. Things are never gonna get better if the only discussion we have is biased, edgy, disrespectful slop like this. Well, I think it's about time I let you guys go. Link to most of the channel/videos involved and referenced are in the description, unfortunately including the main video I covered today as well. I don't think anyone should watch it or listen to his bullshit. It's only fair since it's fair use and everything. Yet again, don't harass anyone involved. I will be taking this seriously. If you want me to make more commentary videos about bad YouTube videos, let me know. I've got a few stinkers in mind I want to talk about. Or, if you want to stick around for any creative endeavor I may participate in, subscribe so maybe you'll see it if I make it. Have a nice one.